Hey, I'm Karim of Mayfield. You now rocking with the Ministry of Information podcast. Hey, check it out. Pull up Authentic 415 Dispensary, 165 Mississippi Street, San Francisco, California. I'm on.
Let's get back to the boxing. I mean, you was telling us how you first got into the ring, what convinced you to become a professional boxer. What put you in the running to run? I know you got 2 belts. What put you in the running to even get the first one? What happened where now you in the running and then you won?
Right. Oh, yeah, okay, so I'm going to go back to that, and I'm going to go back to the big or more feel like I can, do it, is when I actually sparred a guy named James Buggs. He was a professional, and rest in peace, he's dead now, and I did really extremely well, and he came and hollered at me after, like, bro, you can do something. So, that was, I'm just kind of going back to the other question, before I actually turned pro, before I actually, was even had that many amateur fights. But, on a major level, though, I had went to Manny Pacquiao's training camp to get him prepared for Sugar Shane Mosley, and I had a pretty similar style to Sugar Shane, sort of similar, right-hander, fighter, strong, kind of resembled him a little bit. But I went to his camp, and I did extremely well. You can actually catch some of that footage on YouTube. Mayfield first Pacquiao, they took some of the rounds off because I shined out.
And you actually hurt Pacquiao.
I hurt Pacquiao, yeah, and that's.
And you got sent home because we was kicking it around that time, and I remember when you left.
Yeah.
And you left only for like 2 weeks, and then you came back. I was like, why you left so quick?
Yeah.
And what happened, man? Walk us through that. How you end up hurting Pacquiao, man?
Well, for one, they was offering us, $1,000 to knock him down. If we was able to knock him down, we get $1,000 extra bucks. That's along with our stipend that we was getting for being there. So, you can imagine we going after his head, and people be like, "Look, sparring, you guys are just, practicing, bro." Nobody, when somebody's coming after you like 100%, you gotta protect yourself 100%. They offering us a bag. We don't care about that guy. You know what I mean? We were trying to take him out, to be honest. So, so with me and my style, I had a style that was pretty conducive to his style. Like he, which was like a bully style, in there in your chest, kind of roughing you up type style, not the casual boxing, which I would call like fencing. It was more so wrestling / MMA almost a little bit. I get rough and tough in there, and I just was throwing them off, and I had my right hand was my money punch, and I was a great right hand fighter, puncher, and as people know that if you're a southpaw, that's like the right hand, that's like the southpaw killer is throwing that right hand. So I was just letting a lot of them go. And I did, I actually got signed after that by Prize Fight Promoting. Shouts out to Prize Fight in Memphis. But so going back to that question, I got signed from that.
Hold on, you didn't even go into it, man. What you hit him with a left and it messed it, hit him in his nose, and what happened, man?
Yep, I hit him with the right hand, overhand rights. Again, you can check it out on YouTube after this. Y'all finish this, go check it out. But I was hitting him with hella right hands, big right hands. And I was just doing some unorthodox stuff. And to be honest, that was the first round. As I mentioned, they made Ellie Setback. Shout out to Ellie Setback. You already know reporting. He had to take a few of the rounds off because I was out doing the champ. You feel me? So at that time, so I was just like, they made me take a few rounds off. So that round was like a warm up round. So you can imagine, what I did. And shouts out to
so how did they ask you and tell you that you had to go home and that they wasn't interested in your services no longer? What did they say?
It's something also on YouTube with when they question them, why'd you get rid of Mayfield? And you hear Freddie Rose saying, well, Mayfield was getting a little rough with Pacquiao. A little, I don't know what that means. Like, we're boxing, we're fighting, but it was definitely my style. That style throwing it off, like just being in his chest. And I just remember some Filipino reporters saying, they were like, they threw out there because they couldn't figure out what the fuck I was doing. Like, why Pacquiao ain't getting off the way he can. And one dude said, mauling, he's mauling. It was hilarious though. Like, he's mauling. And that's what I was mauling his ass. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because like I said, I mean, his feet work, his skill, his experience. I mean, you know, I wouldn't attempt to try to compete with that in that same style and that, you know, in that
right,
space.
He's a master at that.
Master at that. So I'm not gonna try to, you know, do something that he's great at. I gotta master myself, master me.
Right.
You feel me?
It's the art of war.
That's all the facts.
Yeah. So how did they? So you said that they said all that, and they just told you was going a little too hard.
Yeah, they said, you know, he's getting a little rough, and I mean, well, they didn't say that in particular, but they told it to me. They said to the guy that was doing the interview. He mentioned that to him, but what he told me was that, you know, we're coming closer to the fight, and like, you know, in other words, that we don't need them getting banged up. You know, we're gonna have him in there with some lighter guys because they would like to mix it up. They had me in there like first, I guess why he had the most of his energy, and then later on down they'll bring, because he would spar with 4 people. Keep in mind, I would only have to go 4 rounds. Then he'll have to go another 4, then because he's fighting 4 12-round fights. Right. So they want to keep fresh guys, but they always put me first while he got the best energy. And then at the last point time, even if he's fighting at 147 pounds, they go put like a 130 in there, somebody that can't hurt him like that, you know.
Right.
Still give him speed, still give him, you know, agility, but that ain't gonna hurt him, you know.
Right,
so
right.
I mean, I understand that. Exactly, endurance is down, and I mean, I understand this, you know, chronologically, you ain't trying to get beat up before a fight.
Right.